Hello there viewers, and welcome back to another video today here on Gracious Motorsport. So today you join us for round 9 of the Midway Racing League here at Laguna Seca, and as you can see, as a special one-off for this video, as you can see down in the bottom left hand corner, you've got my face. So yes, for anyone who's never met me in real life, for anyone who doesn't know what I look like, that's my face. So that is what I look like. So yeah, for this round today, what I decided to do was basically sellotape my karting camera to the top of my TV, and for the race, get my iPhone and put it on my rig, just resting on my rig, and film my feet. Basically just to test out face cam and pedal cam, see if I want to do it in the future. Problem is, as I discovered during the race, when you do that, obviously for you to be able to see me, I had to turn the lights on. So normally I race without any sort of lights on, so I can focus in on the TV. But yeah, for this, so that you can see my beautiful face, I had to turn the light on, and I found it very distracting. So just a warning, this is only a one-off, seeing my face. I didn't use it for future rounds, but yeah. Anyway, moving on to what's actually going on screen. So here we are then, like I said, at Laguna Seca. Qualifying is just underway, and we're just about to start our first lap of the session. Just slowing down here, just giving us a space in front so we don't catch up Jake at any point during qualifying. So first few laps of qualifying were a bit of a mess, to be honest. I was struggling to get into the zone. I felt a bit disorientated, and yeah, I just didn't drive very well at all, to be honest. I had a number of offs and ended up rage quitting back to the pits at one point. So yeah, that was the first few laps of qualifying. As you can see, we've just picked up a penalty here on what was a decent lap, so we're going to have to abort this lap as well. And we've also got this yellow flag glitch, where basically the yellow flag is being waved even though there's no one crashed. So the yellow flag is being waved, and we can't serve our penalty because the yellow flag is being waved. So this is just a little bit farcical right now, but we do finally manage to get rid of the penalty and start our lap on what is the final lap of qualifying. So coming out of turn 11 then to begin our lap, coming down through turn 1, you just want to be taking the shortest lane possible, basically through this left-hander here. It's not really a corner, to be honest, it's just a bit of a kink in the straight. And then coming down to the Andretti hairpin, you want to be braking at the white line on the right next to the two board. Double apex, this Andretti hairpin can be quite difficult to know where your apexes are, certainly for the second part. And then into turn 3 here, braking at the gravel trap on the left hand side as the gravel trap starts. Turn 4, you just give a dab of the brakes as the curb ends on the left hand side, and we are purple by 1/10 of a second at this point, so that's looking good so far. Coming down to turn 5, braking at the Gran Turismo board on the right, you start braking just as those Gran Turismo boards begin, just as they go out of shot. And then turn 6, this is a very committed corner. This you've got to have a lot of bravery through here, so dabbing the brakes at the white mark on the barriers on the right, and then yeah, you want full commitment through that corner. Carry as much speed as possible up the Rahal straight into the corkscrew, braking at the start of the right of the curb on the right, and then yeah, yeet it over that crest and through the rainy curve. Very awkward corner this, very late apex, very difficult to get your apex there. You can get disorientated through there. Turn 10, very tricky corner this. I find I always miss my apex through there. There's just something about it, it's a bit of an odd corner. And into the final corner, braking at the 3 board on the right at the marker board, and then yes, turning it into that corner. Took a little bit too much curve there as we hit the sausage curb, but as we come across the line, that lap is going to put us into P2. So we managed to recover well then from what was up until then a disastrous qualifying, and we were down in like miles down the order, miles off the pace. I think our best lap time before that was a 21.3, and we managed to do it at 20.4 on that lap. Now after a bit of a wet fart of a fake race, to be honest, it was time for the race itself. So as you can see, you got Ryan starting on pole position, you got me in second, Adam Bronze up in P3, so I think that's his best qualifying for a while. You got Sean Pretty in 4th, you got Kelvin up in P5. This was the first race that he did where he actually did any practice for it. And you got Mike McGann starting in P6. I think this was his second ever race in this league and his first time in Lobby 1, so Mike is doing well for his debut in Lobby 1. So coming out of the final corner then, waiting for the race to start, just in fuel mode 6 at the moment, just saving a slight amount of fuel before the race begins. So away we go then. As you can see, my feet have now appeared down in the bottom left hand corner. So yeah, I turned my iPhone on for the race, so I've now got both a pedal cam and a face cam for the race. So coming down into turn 1 then, we're quite far behind Ryan. The game really has screwed us over here. We're at 1.3 seconds behind him already, so that is rather frustrating through no fault of our own. We're miles out of the slipstream range. Now strategy for this race, you can either do the 1 stop, or if you're mad, you can do the 2 stop. Now, the reason why you've got to be mad to do the 2-stop is because the pit lane loss time here at Laguna Seca is absolutely ridiculous. It takes 22 seconds for your car to reach its pit box once you enter the pit lane here. It is quite silly, to be honest. Your car disappears for a very long period of time. So yeah, as a result, I will be doing the 1-stop here. As you can see, I'm already short shifting and saving fuel. So Ryan is driving off into the distance because yes, I'm not trying to hunt him down. I'm not trying to keep up with him. Ryan was doing the 2-stop here. He was bad enough to do that. He was going flat out, whereas I was doing the 1-stop. And fortunately, as we move ahead a couple of laps here, the guys behind did start fighting. So 2 laps ago, I had Adam to run right behind me, but as you can now see, there is quite a gap behind as Adam and Sean are fighting. So if you have a look at the gaps on the left hand side, only a few corners back, the gap was only half a second to Adam behind. But now as Sean and Adam fight, as you can see, the gap has now shot up to 2.5 seconds. So we have gained 2 seconds on the pack behind then, just at a click of the fingers. So that is beneficial to us. A few laps later, Adam did catch us back up. So yeah, we were very much fuel saving. As you can see, we were doing consistent 121s with Ryan in front doing consistent 1-minute 20s. But yeah, we were saving a lot of fuel. So Adam is now right behind us and he is also saving fuel. And as we move ahead to lap 19, Adam is still right behind us. But as you can see, Ryan, he's pulled into the pit lane with only 1% of a tank left. Now, if you have a look down in the bottom left hand corner, we've still got a quarter of a tank left. So we have saved so much fuel compared to Ryan. We have so much more fuel left. So Ryan, over the course of that first stint, he managed to pull a 13 or 14 second gap on us. But check out our fuel down the bottom right hand side and have a look at my reaction on the face cam. I burst out laughing as I realised just how much fuel I got. I did not mean to save this much fuel, to be honest. The plan at the start was to go to the end of lap 22 and then do a 23 lap stint after, but turns out I'm going to be able to go to the end of lap 26 at this point, or end of lap 25, sorry. So yeah, got a lot of fuel left right now. 2 laps later, we've got Adam behind us and he's pulling into the pit as well, so he's almost run out of fuel. So Adam was going flat out for most of that first stint and then fuel saved a bit once he caught back up to us. But finally, on lap 25 of the race, it is time for us to make our pit stop. So we are now pulling into the pit lane to fill the tank back up and go to the end of the race on the 1-stop. So whilst we wait an eternity for our car to appear in its pit box, I was just turning off my phone then, because as you may have just seen, the thing fell off of my rig and yeah, fell onto my feet. So getting rid of my phone and yeah, still waiting for my car to appear. I mean, where has it gone? Oh, there it finally appears. And where did you go, car? So yeah, finally the car arrives in its pit box. Changing tyres now. So 20 laps of the race to go. Like I say, filling the tank and going to the end. Flat out, this car does do 20 laps on a tank. So we are going to be able to go flat out to the end of the race here, as our pit crew very slowly fills our car up. And yeah, I'm just preparing myself for this flat out final stint of the race. So as the pit crew lets us go and we exit the pit lane, where is Ryan going to be in relation to us? So coming out of this very long pit road here, as the car is in auto drive. Frustratingly, the game does not let you drive on this bit, as the car dips a wheel into the gravel trap. That's a very dumb auto drive. So exiting the pit lane then, we are in 5th place. We are on P5 and we are 29 seconds behind Ryan. So although first that may sound really bad, how have I lost half a minute to him? Remember, Ryan still needs to pit again, and we don't, and we're going flat out to the end. And when you pit on this game, you lose between 35 to 40 seconds at Laguna Seca. So when Ryan comes out of the pit lane, it's going to be very interesting. And as we move ahead to the end of our first lap since leaving the pit lane, as you can see, we beat our personal best by 0.6 of a second. So that goes to show you just how much fuel saving we were doing during that first stint. On our very first lap out the pits, yeah, break our personal best by 0.6. So at this point, we basically want to be doing consistent 1-minute 20s to the end of the race if we can help it. So I want to be doing laps which are within about 2 to 3 tenths of one another. That's the kind of level of consistency that I aim for. So we want to be doing consistent high 1-minute 20s. And as we move ahead another 5 laps here to lap 33 of the race, it is now time for Ryan to make his second stop of the race. So if you have a look at the leaderboard on the left, Ryan has now just pulled into the pit lane with absolutely no fuel left in his car whatsoever. So yeah, he didn't put too much fuel in when he made his first stop. He only put about 60% of a tank in and then did a very much sprint stint for the second stint of the race. So Ryan is now in the pit lane. Our lap times weren't great, to be honest, over the course of this stint. As you can see, we've got a few 1 minute 20s thrown in there, but we've also got a few 121s, including a 121.3, which is really not great, considering that in qualifying, in similar conditions to this, we managed to do a 1 minute 20.4. So these laps, they weren't too great. I was driving pretty scruffy, to be honest, and when you drive scruffy, you tend to then continue drive scruffy, because you kind of get annoyed with yourself, you get frustrated for driving poorly. So now Ryan is exiting the pit lane with 71% of a tank left. Now where is he going to be when we come out the pits? Is he about to appear? No, he's not. So he has not appeared, and as we look behind, he's still not appeared, and he's still in the pit lane. So Ryan, what are you doing there in the pits? You have been gone forever, and he's now exited the pit lane 6 seconds behind us. So Ryan, we've got him 6 seconds behind, but now he's got fresh tyres on. So although both of us are going flat out, Ryan has much fresher tyres. These are what, 10 laps younger than ours, so he's going to have a big advantage over us now through the corner. He's going to have a lot more grip. So what I'm going to do now is going to do a little bit of a countdown and basically count the gap down between me and Ryan. So at the end of lap 34, the gap is 5.5 seconds. At the end of lap 35, it is now 4.5 seconds. 1 lap later, it is now 4.1 seconds. Now it's 3.5 seconds, now 2.8, now 1.9, now 1.1 seconds, and now 0.4 seconds. So as you can see, over the course of the last 8 laps, Ryan has reeled that gap all the way in. So now with 4 laps of the race remaining, we have got Ryan right behind us, literally on our back bumper as we go through the Andretti hairpin on lap 42. So it is now time for us to defend our lead. Ryan has caught us up 4 laps too early, to be honest. I would have rather he caught us up in 4 laps time when the checkered flag comes out, but we've got Ryan behind us now, so we're going to have to be watching that radar now for these last remaining 4 laps. So we're going to go defensive now into turn 5, make sure he can't go up our inside as he goes for an audacious move around the outside, but we cut him off on exit, so he has not managed to get past us there. Now going through turn 6 and then onto the Rahal straight, Ryan's going to get the slipstream on us up into the corkscrew, but the corkscrew is not a particularly overtaken spot. We're going to keep over to the left though, just to make sure he doesn't go for a move up the inside, but no, we do fend him off there. He doesn't send it up the inside, fortunately. Yeah, like I say, corkscrew, not a great place to go for an overtake, if anything, just because it's a chicane, so by nature it's going to be difficult to overtake. Coming into this final corner now, he's just given us a little bit of a tap there, so we're going to have to go really defensive into here, and Ryan, he was looking to go for the move then, but thought better of it. He was partially looking up the inside then, he was slightly alongside, but no, did not go for the move. Now he's got the slipstream on us on the way down to turn 1 on lap 43 of the race. We are having to defend like crazy here as we keep over to the left hand side. You're never going to go around the outside of the Andretti hairpin. It's way too long a corner to be able to do that, and you can't really get the cutback and exit lane. And now going into turn 3, Ryan is going to sneakily go up our inside when I was not expecting it into turn 3. That's not a place where you'd normally go for a move, and Ryan caught me off by surprise there. Looking back at it, I definitely should have defended into that. I was kicking myself at the time for not going for the defensive move. So Ryan is now in front with much fresher tyres, but we do now have his slipstream. So are we going to be able to capitalise on the slipstream, and are we going to go for the move at any point? As you may have seen, by the way, my face has disappeared. My face is no longer there because my camera died. I forgot to plug it in, so that was my bad. But as we approach the corkscrew here, we are already on the borderline of the slipstream range. So Ryan's already managed to pull 7/10 on us, and as we come through the corkscrew here, we unfortunately clipped the gravel trap there, and it's going to give us a half a second penalty. So that is very frustrating indeed. We've not only got a penalty, but now our right hand tyres are slightly dirty too, so that is frustrating. And as we come out of turn 10, Ryan has unfortunately managed to break the slipstream range to us. So in the space of, well, not even a lap, Ryan's managed to get past us and break the slipstream range to us. So that is very frustrating, and as we move ahead 2 laps here to the end of the race, and we come across the line to serve our penalty that we got at the corkscrew, we unfortunately finished 3.5 seconds behind Ryan. So congratulations Ryan, you drove phenomenally. He said afterwards that was the best drive he's ever done in any game. Yeah, that's Ryan drove very, very well. I drove very, very poorly. poorly as I was going off left, right and centre, clobbering sausage curbs everywhere and just driving really quite poorly, to be honest. So well done Ryan on the win. The Ancient Pleb, who I believe is India's fastest player, again managed to finish P3, so that's 2/3 in a row in his 2 races. So that's a good start to the series for the Ancient Pleb. You got Adam in 4th, he also did the 2-stop. I think he may have had an off at some point as well, so he ended up coming home in P4, with Kelvin in 5th and Mike on his debut in Lobby 1 finishing P6. So I hope you guys enjoyed watching that video. Next up will be Willow Springs, so that's the next race. So we're staying in America for Willow Springs, and well, that race, it has a pretty damn good ending to it. So yeah, anyone who's been watching my short videos will already know what happens in that race. So yeah, I hope you guys are looking forward to that video. Like, subscribe, do all that good stuff, and I will see you next time. So goodbye.